morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to the Classic Wrestling Series Season 3, Episode 17. So, if you haven't already, check out last week's episode, which is known to be in the annotation just up there when the video begins, because this is a continuation of last week's episode. So, tonight, our episode is going to be In Your House International Incident. I'm actually looking forward to this one because it's a show I've not seen and I'm actually entertained by this. So, let's not waste any more time. Again, thank you so much for all the love from last week's episode. It really means a lot to me. So, let's get to our first contest of the night for International Incident. So, we just had the Body Donners versus the Smoking Guns in a non-title matchup for our opening contest. This was fun. Like, I forget just how good Chris Candido is. I've said it before, I'll say it again. But I will add a little bit to it. I think his best performances were in ECW because he was kind of allowed to be himself a lot more. Yes, he was in WCW. Of course, he's in WWF as Skip. But he was allowed to be more himself in ECW. And you saw a lot more of his talent shine through. Not to say that he was a really good wrestler. He's fucking good in this match. There was one point where there was a little bit of a miscommunication between Bart Gunn and Chris Candido. He just went bang, bang, do it, you know, get the corner, do it again, blah blah blah, and then they did the spot, and it was good. It was a good, he was able to see when it was a bit of a mess, mistiming and something, and be able to adapt to it, which is good. You need that in a wrestler. As well as all that, the dynamic between Skip, Chris Candido, and Tammy Stitch, obviously they were in a very long-term relationship for the longest time until Chris Candido's unfortunate passing. Which does suck, again, he was a really good wrestler. But there was also a lot of miscommunication around Chris Candido's passing. A lot of people think it was due to a blood clot. And unfortunately, that's just, it is quite literally an urban legend. It's an urban myth. Chris Candido actually died from acute pneumonia due to complications of the surgery. A lot of people do think that he still died, passed away from blood clot. It wasn't. It was acute pneumonia he passed away from, which is still upsetting. It sucks that something like that would happen. I hope they can do there was a Chris Candido Memorial Tag Tournament that took place in TNA, if I recall, which was actually very entertaining. I might actually have to see if I can find the footage from that. But opening contest, this was really fun. It was great. Smoking Guns are the heels, Body Donners are the faces. It was very entertaining. It was well done. And Body Donners get the win. This would move on to SummerSlam, I believe, where they would go for the tag team titles in the at SummerSlam, I believe. So, our main event tonight is a 6-man tag with Camp Cornette, Owen Hart, British Bulldog, and Vader taking on Psycho Sid, Shawn Michaels, and I can't remember who the other person is. Give me a second. Ahmed Johnson. There we go. So it was Ahmed Johnson, Psycho Sid, and Shawn Michaels. The People's Choice, I believe they were called. So this would actually, we'll talk more about this in the main event moving forward. So our next matchup, I don't know what, it's Mankind. So originally Mankind was supposed to be taking on Jake the Snake Roberts. Unfortunately, due to, I believe the commentary said it was an injury to, yes. So Mankind was originally supposed to be facing Jake Roberts, but he's replaced by Henry Godwinn tonight. Laura is making so many fucking jokes about Jake Roberts' sobriety and basically saying that he's gone off the wagon again. Fuck you, Laura, for these comments. I know it's a storyline that leads to a match, but fuck you still. But there is no comment that Roberts was actually sober at this point. He was actually sober during 1996, around the time of the match between Mankind and Jake Roberts. So, yeah, just fuck you, Laura, for that one. Absolutely stupid. But again, it would lead to a match down the road. I believe it would be King of the Ring 1997 or some. I can't remember. I think it's either SummerSlam or King of the Ring 97 where they would have their match. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get to Mankind versus Henry Godwinn. So we just had Henry Godwinn versus Mankind. This was entertaining. Like, for a unscheduled match, it was supposed to be Jake Roberts. This was alright. It was entertaining. Mankind is furthering his feud with The Undertaker, which we will talk more about when the Undertaker match happens. I believe I have done SummerSlam 1996. If not, I will double check, and if I have, then I will link it at the end of this video. But I think I have. Anyway, so let's get to our next matchup. So, we've just had Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Marvelous Mark Miro in our next contest of the night. And yes, I have had a haircut, so it's a brand new haircut. So, there we go, needed it. It's Mark Miro and Austin, so this is going to be entertaining. It's good. It's a little short, I think. It's not the longest match of the night, I don't think. No, it went, okay, so it actually went 10 minutes. So, not too long, not too short. It was okay. Marlene did get involved to basically get Austin the win. But, again, it was a fun matchup. Austin's really coming into his own now. He had switched from the Ringmaster's gimmick to now slowly metamorphosing into the Stone Cold Steve Austin that we would know and love in 1997. This is 96, so this is when the transaction would start. And obviously he's getting cheered in the in Canada because he's a heel, and Canada is, you know, switchy. But this is always good. It's fun. It's entertaining. I am not going to lie. Whenever I see Mark Miro and Austin on a card, I do look forward to the match. I'm not going to lie. It's if they're in singles matches against each other, or if they're in singles matches against other people, it's always a good showing. So now we have got Goldust taking on The Undertaker. So let's get to this one, shall we? So we just had The Undertaker versus Goldust in a singles match. This was entertaining. It was well done. Goldust and Taker did work really well together, to be fair. There was a spot where The Undertaker would try to go for the tombstone, but then all of a sudden drops, but turns it into a small package. Don't normally see that from The Undertaker, but that was actually quite... I liked that. I actually did like that. I thought it was really funny. Well, not funny, but I thought it was really good, actually. I'm not going to lie. Entertaining as all hell. So, with that all being said as well, we've got the Mankind. Sorry, Mankind comes up from the ring and basically attacks Undertaker. Undertaker comes up from the other side. They would brawl to the back, and basically that would lead into the Boiler Room Brawl match that would happen at SummerSlam. Speaking of which, I haven't done SummerSlam 1996 before, so not the next episode, but the episode after that is going to be SummerSlam 1996. So we've kind of got two shows already predetermined. One of them is due to me going on holiday. I'm actually going on holiday next week, so we're going to have a pre-recorded episode next week. And the week after will be SummerSlam 1996. He says, at the end of summer. It's one of them things, people. So we will go to our main event, which is going to be our 6-man tag. Let's get to the main event. So we just had Team Camp Cornette taking on Ahmed Johnson, Psycho Sid, and Shawn Michaels. Really fun 6-man tag, I'm not going to lie. Very entertaining. So there's the story between the Bulldog and Shawn Michaels. There's Owen Hart involved. There's Sid, there's Sid. It's really good. It's entertaining. Vader gets the win, which would lead into SummerSlam, and Vader basically getting a WWF Championship match at SummerSlam with Shawn. So, like I said, next week we are going to be doing a pre-recorded episode. The week after will be SummerSlam, and then I've kind of worked out what we're doing for the next few weeks. So, it's going to be entertaining. So, as I said, I'm away on holiday as of next week. So, we are going to be going to... Well, I'm not going away to this place, but I believe I want to stay in Canada for the bonus episode, for the next episode of the CWS. So that's what we're going to. So with that being said, I will see you in 2 weeks' time for the next episode of the CWS. Again, being recorded live on the channel and stuff like that. The pre-recorded episode will be done right now. So with that being said, TTFN. Ta-ta for now.